You recognize that, Garvey? Garvey?
I understand they can do clever things with tape recorders nowadays. There's a way of piecing words together, isn't there? They can record your voice and then fix a tape, take a simple sentence and change the words around to mean just the opposite.
You can examine the tape if you like. We didn't make a splice in it. All you'll find in it are the usual factory splices, just the way it came from the manufacturer.
What difference does it make anyway? Nothing criminal about that conversation, nothing at all.
You told us a few minutes ago you didn't know Fred Lawrence. You never heard of him. On that recording, sounds like you know him pretty well.
It's a fairly common name, wouldn't you say? Must be quite a few Fred Lawrences. I didn't happen to remember the name right off.
How about Tyson?
What?
Tyson. You told us you didn't know him well at all.
I don't.
Didn't sound that way on the tape. You were telling Lawrence he was all right. You said, believe me, he's a good kid. How about it, mister?
How about what? Is this some kind of a frame? What are you trying to make me say?
We're not going to make you say anything, Garvey. We work robbery detail. That's the job, robberies. They pay us to clean them up.
I can pay you.
What?
Never mind, I didn't mean that. I meant I pay my taxes, I pay your salaries. I help to anyway. I don't know why I have to be treated like this.
No reason to make a big headache out of this for everybody, Garvey. You engineered a hold-up, and we can prove it. We're giving you a chance to make a statement, that's all.
I got nothing to say. Make a statement about what? All you're going on is hearsay, circumstantial evidence. You can't say I planned that robbery.
You admit you know Tyson. You know him well.
I don't. I admit nothing.
What about the phone conversation?
It's a fake. They phony those things up all the time. You know it as well as I do.
You admitted you know Fred Lawrence. We proved that on the recording.
I admit nothing.
You don't even know Tyson. Is that what you want to say?
I know him, that's all. He worked on my car a couple of times. I don't know him well.
I'd like to play you another recording, Garvey.
A waste of time. I haven't got the whole day to spend here. I've got to get back to my store. I've got a business to operate.
Won't take very long. Here we are, April 5th.
A lot of foolishness anyway. How do I know how you made those recordings? You could have gotten actors, made them up yourselves. There weren't any dictographs. How did you make those things?
There were dictographs, Garvey. You remember before you moved in that new suite of offices, you had them redecorated?
Yes.
There were sound technicians from our crime lab out there working side by side with the painters, carpenters. Installed dictographs in your store, back in your offices. They bugged the entire place.
Wiretapping. I'll bring this into court if it's the last thing I do.
We already told you, Garvey, it's not wiretapping. We didn't touch your phone lines. We didn't have to.
Invasion of privacy. I'm going to bring this into court.
All right, let's hear this recording. Might clear up a few things, huh?
Clear up what? What are you trying to prove?
Okay, Joe.
Yeah, okay. Date on this is April 5th.
Come on in, sit down.
Okay, thanks.
Well, how have you been anyway?
Pretty good. I'm trying to get a hold of you the last week or so. Hard to do. You're not in very much.
Yeah, pretty busy, Ken. That time of year, you know. Keeps you going.
Well, I don't want to waste any time. I'd like to know how the deal's working out, though. Going back east to Albany next month. I'd like to get the rest of my money if I could.
Just like I told you the last time, Ken. I'm sending the stuff north. I hope here in a couple of days.
Yeah, I know. That's what you told me before, but it was a pretty heavy job. I could use the money. I mean, if it wasn't so heavy, I wouldn't mind, but, well, I got it coming, I think.
Of course you do, Ken. There's no question there. It's just that I haven't got it right now. Believe me, you'd have it in a minute if it was mine to give.
Yeah, but that was the agreement, wasn't it? 500 before the job, 500 after. Happened last October. That's it.
How about it, Garvey? What do you say?
Ridiculous, that's all. Obvious fake.
You can look at the tape if you like, inspect it. You can check every one of those 25 reels. We'll play them for you if you want.
Fakes, bad ones at that. Now, look, I'll give you both a chance. Either you book me in on a charge or else release me. You try booking me in and I'll sue you for false arrest. I'll break you. I'll sue you blind. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Release me and I'll get back to work. I'll forget all about it. Now, you name it. Which one? Book me in or release me?
That's fair enough. You're giving us a choice.
You bet it's fair. You could get in a lot of hot water. Now, it's up to you. Which one?
You ran a bad bluff, mister.
What?
We're booking you in. Thursday, 3:55 p.m. Ed Jacobs and I continued questioning the robbery suspect, Ernest Garvey. Despite the evidence at hand, he still refused to admit any knowledge of the $20,000 jewel theft 9 months before. The questioning went on. Garvey's answers became more and more confused. We kept pressing, laying out the case against him step by step. 4:30 p.m. We stayed at it.
But it must have taken quite a bit of money, didn't it, Garvey? Your wife's new fur coat, new car for yourself. Where'd it come from?
Now, look, there has to be an answer. Where'd that money come from?
Simple. I borrowed it.
Where'd you borrow it?
Some of it from friends, some from the banks. I don't see how it concerns you.
How much money did you borrow?
Don't you think that's my business?
Wasn't it about $7,000? That about right?
Yes. No, it was more. What's the difference? It's my business.
Complete financial file on you, Garvey. Took us quite a few weeks getting it together. A lot of work.
You must like snooping in other people's affairs.
No, not especially. It's pretty dull. Here's a copy of your bank statement from the California banks. Photostat. Doesn't make much sense here.
What do you mean?
Well, we checked your income for that month. Amounted to $620.18. Now, how was that possible?
For your information, I made a loan that month. That's probably some of the loan money I deposited. I'd quit my old job that time. I was going in business for myself. I needed the money to redecorate the new store, the office. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Photostat's your loan papers right here. The loan was for $2,000.
Yes?
Month before, February, you'd borrowed from another bank. Let's see. That was for $3,000. Made another one in April, too. That was for $1,500, different bank again.
Yes, that's right. Do we have to go over this line by line?
In 3 months, you made bank loans for $6,500. Now, besides that, in the same 3 months, you earned a total of $1,713.88. Now, together, that makes $8,213.88.
What's the point?
Copies of your bank statements, Garvey. You have 5 different savings accounts in 5 different banks. How do you explain that?
Garvey, any explanation?
It's almost 5 o'clock. Can I use the phone? I have to call my wife, let her know.
All right. We'll have to listen in on the extension. The conversation will be monitored.
Go ahead, I don't care.
Okay. You dial 9 to get an outside line.
Oh, yeah. Busy.
Photostats there if you want to examine them, Garvey.
I see them.
Well, you want to give us an explanation? You only had $8,200. How could you bank $11,000? It had to come from somewhere.
Purely a personal matter, that's all. I borrowed $3,000 from a brother of mine, lives back in Minnesota.
You'd already made 3 loans. Why'd you have to borrow from your brother? You mind telling us?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do mind.
Well, it still doesn't balance the books, Garvey. You earned and borrowed $8,200. You got another $3,000 from your brother, you say. That's $11,200. You banked $11,000.
Yes, that's right. You always have to repeat.
That'd leave you with $200. Did you and your family live for 3 months on $200?
Why not? That could easily be. A lot of people do it.
Yes, sir, but not your family.
I'm getting sick and tired of this. You trying to tell me you know my family better than I do, what they eat, what they spend, what it takes to support them?
We've been on this thing for 9 months, Garvey. We've put in a lot of hours, and we know your family pretty well. If you like, I'll tell you the last time you ordered steak from the meat market, when you paid your gas bill, the last time your wife bought a pair of shoes.
I guess this is standard procedure for you, threatening people?
We're not threatening you, Garvey. We're giving you facts.
Another file here. It took us over a month to get this one together. Complete record of your expenses from February 1st. Covers February, March, April, May, and June.
I hope the police department has a good lawyer, Sergeant. You've got fair warning. I'm going to sue you for your last dollar.
Now, you say you and your family lived 3 months on $200. That doesn't jibe with what we've got. You can take a look here if you want to. It's all there.
Lies, forgeries, it's all lies. I promise you're going to regret this.
There's a photostat here of the receipt for your wife's coat, Garvey. $1,612.34. That includes the tax paid in full. Photostat of the contract for your new car. Down payment, $2,000. Liquor bill for the big party you threw in March 20th. Liquor bill, $387. There's a catering bill here, $194. Full year's check for tuition, room, and board for your kids at that private school you sent them to. $1,864.07. That's only the beginning, Garvey. Comes to a lot more than $200. Have you heard enough?
I better try to get my wife again. I have to let her know.
All right, Ed, you want to get the extension?
Yeah, right. You dial 9 to get outside, Garvey.
Yeah, I know. Still talking. She might know I'm trying to get her, stupid.
Now, wait a couple of minutes. You'll get through.
Gabbing on the phone all day long, gab on the phone and play cards. It's all she ever does.
I've got some more figures for you here, Garvey. Be a good idea if you hear them. Bills for 2 more parties you threw last month. Food bills, liquor bills.
Why do you have to keep pushing that stuff at me? So you've been sneaking around finding out about my personal affairs. That's supposed to be good police work, is it? This the kind of thing they pay you for?
Now, look, you carried off a robbery, Garvey. We're giving you a chance to make a statement.
Why should I? What for? Give you a statement and have you twist it around, incriminate me? I haven't had anything to do with this kid, Tyson. Better make that call.
Dial 9 first.
I know. You told me.
What's wrong, Garvey?
What's the matter with her, stupid? She ought to know I'm trying to get her, stupid.
Dial 9.
I know.
One more recording you ought to hear. Just played part of it for you.
I don't want to hear it.
I'll play just a piece of it. Think you ought to hear it.
Not the one from May 10th, is that it?
Yeah, uh-huh. Tyson and Garvey. Same place. The office.
Yeah, but you told me on the phone.
Said you'd have the dough for me today.
Now, wait a minute, Tyson. I didn't say that at all. I said maybe I'd have it for you. I didn't say definitely. Look, I can't give you what I haven't got.
I want the 500, Garvey. I need it. I stuck my neck out on a robbery job. I'd get 5 to life if the cops got me. You'd be clear.
Now, take it easy, will you, Ken?
Take it easy, nothing.
Well, it couldn't be any plainer. What do you say?
In a minute, just a minute. She was never satisfied. She never could be satisfied. Always more. She always had to have something else.
How do you mean, your wife?
Playing cards and gabbing on the phone, that's all. She kept writing me day in and day out. I wasn't making enough money. She didn't have any clothes. The kids ought to go to a better school. We ought to have a new house. On and on and on. I ought to go in business for myself, make money, lots of money, same thing all the time. Talk, talk, talk. There's only so much you can take.
You figured the robbery had solved the problem, is that it?
I guess so. I'd have tried anything just to shut her up, get her off my back for a while. I guess you got Tyson, huh? The other man, too, Fred Lawrence.
They were picked up this afternoon. Lawrence at the airport, Tyson in a show downtown, all three of you.
What about your wife, Garvey? She know you planned the robbery?
I didn't tell her. I think she knows, though. Pretty sure she does. Maybe she'll be satisfied now. Lousy money. She had to have it. Didn't even leave me enough to pay off that kid Tyson. Private school for the children. Wall-to-wall carpets in the house. New dishwasher, new coat, new car, everything. She just had to have them. Want to take me, book me in? I don't care.
All right. We'll stop off down the hall, take your statement.
Sure, I don't care.
All right, let's go.
Oh, say, just a minute, huh?
Yeah?
It'll only take a minute. Yeah. That's what I figured.
On November 4th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 87, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial. The suspect was tried and convicted of robbery in the first degree, which is punishable by imprisonment from 5 years to life.